Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Rad Movement on YouTube. It is I, Robbie Rapole, back again. And today I want to talk about triggers. Triggers. Um, triggers, they happen to all of us. They seem to happen at a lot of our journey. When we're growing and shedding something, I've been getting triggered a lot over my life, for sure. But I'm noticing trigger points a lot more lately. We played paintball yesterday, and whenever I felt like I was shot unjustly, I got really triggered. Like I was running into the fucking paintballs on my way to going and fucking capturing the flag, but when I had the flag and you weren't supposed to shoot me anymore, I got really pissed. And so that's one of them, right? Another, I was just trying to record this video with Zen on my lap, and he was freaking out. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. This isn't effective. So it's really interesting. And then a multitude of other things, right? And bigger things, smaller things, nasty, scary things, things about ourselves that we hate, and then things about others that we hate, probably because it's a reflection of that in ourselves. Triggers come from trauma response a lot, big time, heavily. So, if there's any time where we're all having trauma response moments at some point, right? So when you're having those trauma response moments, a trigger is going to be a lot more triggering. Pain's a good fucking trigger point. Throw some unjustified feelings or justified feelings on that. Now it's, very easy trigger. So when you roll into your triggered moments, the best thing to do is check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Always, always, always. That is step number one of the magical motherfucker method. Check yourself. And so that way when you check yourself, you can feel like, what do I need, right? And that can look like, fully removing yourself from a situation and taking breaths. That could look like, writing down a couple of notes on your phone or jotting down some notes on a notepad, like, how do I feel? And then once you acknowledge how you feel, like, what am I going to do with this? I was in the situation playing paintball where my good friend Desi was the one that was like running all of our matches. So I knew if I got really mad and I was super justified, he'd help me handle it. But I just got triggered because, the pain and feeling justified and the startling. So, when you're like, hey, dude, that fucking sucked. He's like, yeah, it sucks sometimes, man. And your body's telling you that you're done, and I'm like, you know what? I am done. This is my last game. Like, I'm ready to be done. So, lessons get learned everywhere if you're listening. So him telling me that's your body telling you you're done. Listen, do that in life. Oh, I'm angry. I feel like this is too much push. I don't want to have so much push. Why does my life feel so much friction loaded? Maybe this is something I should apply some brake to and see if later on it's time to put the gas on. So, it's very interesting when you're following your intuition and you're listening to your body that you can come out with an answer to how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? What can I do to navigate through it? And one of the main things is sit in the discomfort. I'm learning over my lifespan that the best thing to do for someone you love when something bad happened to them and they're crying or they're unconsolable is just sit there with them in the discomfort. So the best thing for them is probably the best thing for you too. So if you can learn how to hold space for yourself, and when you're triggered, realize, holy shit, I'm triggered. Let me hold space for myself. Let me figure this out. You know, what are some quick solutions to get myself out of this situation I feel like I'm in? So, you know, there's always something we can do. And I've noticed lately I've been kind of getting in my feels about my triggers. And I've had a lot of folks come up to me recently and be like, hey, are you all right? Your videos are saying like you're in a dark place. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I am. But like, I'm not. I'm in a transitional place. It could be a lot fucking worse. It's a battle. It's a mental battle. And that's why I say I am, but I'm not, because I'm having a mental battle lately on a number of different topics. And that just means that the shit that's on top of me is the fertilizer for growth. And that just means these are growing pains. So like, I'm making it through something emotionally. There's something happening. And the triggers that are happening more often are a tell that something's happening. And it allows me to acknowledge and give myself space. Give myself room. Donna bought me a bunch of great books for Christmas. A couple of really rad journals. One of them is a gratitude journal. Daily practice stuff. My favorite one is the book about manifestation, because I read The Secret many years ago, and I really love that concept. I got it tattooed on the palm of my hand, the seal of that book. So like, I very, very much love the law of attraction and manifestation. So I thought it would be really cool to actually use it and put it into practice. And I feel like the more I've been putting these journals, it's only been 9 days since the beginning of the year, and I've been journaling daily for most of last year. But this is a little bit more targeted and intentional journaling. And I feel like the path that I've gotten on at this point again is very much more filled with self-care and time for myself, and taking care of the family and finding the good in that, rather than feeling like it's a chore or a responsibility that's too heavy. A lot of perspective shifts that I've needed to make, and just letting go of my attachment to things. So I know we were talking about triggers, but you know, letting go of the things is really ultimately what like helps the triggers soothe. You know, I got Let It Go tattooed on my knuckles a while ago. I'm actually getting it covered up now because I never really loved the way it looked. But I always have the reminder in my heart that they were there, and I know that let it go is something I need to do. I might even put it on the inside of my fingies. But yeah, seriously, like maybe on around this circle. So yeah, let it go is something that I've really had to focus on. Letting it go. It's hard to let it go, y'all. It's hard to let it go. So letting go of shit. Letting go of your attachment to the outcome definitely helps with the triggers, because you're getting triggered and you're like, ah, fuck, and then you're like, wait a second, if I have no attachment to the outcome, how can I be upset about this? I get to view this as an opportunity for something to greet me and make me feel better, even because it's this opportunity to do something greater. So let your triggers tell you something. And it's a tough journey, and you're not always going to win. But the sooner you can like come back, the better. So yeah. I have one last story. At the end of that same game that I was getting pissed at, my nephew Christian, who really has a very even temper, was getting pissed for the same reason that I was. And that was like, man, if that dude's so even keeled and he's losing it, maybe I can have grace with myself. So have some grace with yourself after you get triggered. So let's go through a quick little checklist. So you're triggered, right? What do? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. So you check out, okay, I am triggered. What is making me triggered? Oh, somebody said something that made me feel less than. Now, you don't have to solve the root of the problem right there, but now you're like, okay, I feel less than. What can I do to not feel less than? Oh, remind myself that I'm a badass. Remind myself that I'm fucking rad. And have some grace with yourself and let go of your fucking attachment to the outcome. And have grace with the other person or the other incident that you're triggered by. And be at peace with being here. Because being here is what it's about. And being at peace is the best place to be. And being at peace and being still and being here and being present is fucking beautiful. So every trigger that happens to you, you get the opportunity to make something beautiful for you. Mic drop. I'm rad, and so are you. I am Robbie Rapole. I fucking love you people. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for being on this fucking journey called life with me. Because I know it ain't easy, but it's super fun.